Welcome to a BBC News special. I'm Katie Wallace. This morning, police have been giving an update on their investigation into the missing woman as the case continues. Chief Inspector Brian Sutherland has confirmed that eyewitnesses have been re-interviewed, but to emphasise that they are not suspects. He also said that CCTV footage from various locations is being looked at, but that there have not been any arrests either. The fact that police still do not have any substantial leads in this case continues to cause debate here at the Houses of Parliament. Today, Minister Diane Hodge called for the resignation of the Chief Inspector heading the case, claiming that it reflects current inabilities in the police force. Back in the area where the woman went missing, it is fair to say that each day there is a rumour, speculation. There are always little pieces of information that emerge each day. You think something is important or useful, but ultimately it comes to nothing. But I have to say today really has been an extraordinary day of highs and lows. I can't think of a day where there have been so many nuggets of what on the one hand might be useful information come through, and then a rumour builds on that. It's been a really, really difficult day. And then there are examples of suspects. Talk of suspects, for example, earlier this afternoon. We heard that the statement from police this morning was going to be significant. The word significant kept being used. Ultimately, in the key points of that statement, we learned a few more details, a few statistics from the search, but very little that gave us much hope. This report on all of today's developments comes to you from Matthew Ellis.
It has been a month now since the police launched their investigation into her disappearance. This morning, they have re-released the description of her. White, 28, 5'2" with brown hair, and she may have been wearing a t-shirt with blue jeans and trainers. One eyewitness claimed he saw her entering this building, but just as the press arrived, this blue Mazda was seen speeding away. Despite this possible lead, police are urging anyone with any information to come forward. Throughout the day, officers have been posted on all major routes into and out of London and at every major train station. They are talking to the public in the hope of jogging memories of the day she disappeared. So far, all eyewitness reports of her final movements had suggested a woman going about her normal business. But new developments today suggest this was not the case. Earlier, I spoke to a neighbour and asked her if she had seen anything unusual. We are urged to remind you that this woman is still very much missing.
Yeah, I saw her get in a car every morning at 20 to 8, always just parked down there. She did seem like a nice enough person, but she kept herself to herself.
Scotland Yard have today released CCTV footage, along with a timetable of her movements. We are told that at 6:45 she woke up, had a shower, got dressed, dried her hair, made porridge and did the washing up. At 7:37, she drove to the printers with documents to be copied. It is unknown what was contained within these documents. At 8:06, we know she walked down the high street whilst talking on her mobile phone. And it wasn't until 8:16 that she actually entered the tube station. At 8:40, she left the tube and caught a bus, arriving eventually at work at 9:04. Eyewitnesses say she left the building at 12:58, but was last seen crossing the road some 16 minutes later. One theory, held by friends and colleagues, is that she is existing in an unknown location, and that the sighting, and indeed all of her known movements, are part of an elaborate facade, which gives us no clues as to her current whereabouts. We invited some close friends to tell us more about the character of the woman.
I remember every year in March, she always, felt like a failure. That's what, that's what she said anyway. I don't know if that had anything to do with her, going missing, her disappearance. She was always learning new things, and she was just really excitable, always jumping from one thing to the other. We were always getting into some kind of mischief together.
On last night's Panorama, Joanne Hillman, an old friend, gave a further insight into the life of this lost character.
She became quite unpredictable, but I was still very shocked to hear that she'd disappeared. My first thought when I heard was about one particular issue that I know made her feel quite uneasy, and that was the fact that there were no rules for life. but they were for work, and she always seemed to really enjoy that. She was good at it, you know, she was well respected in her field, she knew what she was doing, she knew how to do it, and she knew she'd do it well. I think she found it very difficult that there weren't rules for life, for living. Yes, I think she found that very difficult.
To keep up to date with all the latest news on this story and all other stories featured in this afternoon's programme, please go to www.bbc.co.uk/news.
In the last few days, we have seen pictures of the family looking terribly distraught, obviously. We do know that friends are helping them through this terrible ordeal, but to say that they are coping would be entirely speculation. Peter, back to you.